Good morning, students. Welcome in this class. This video is for class 8, subject Social Science, as we are studying about History chapter 5, When People Rebel. It is the second lecture of this chapter, and in today's lecture, the topics are to be discussed. First, causes of revolt. Under this topic, we will study about different causes like political causes, social causes, religious causes and immediate cause which were responsible for the revolt of 1857. So let's we start today's discussion. Yes, our first topic, political causes. Yes friends, in our previous lecture we have studied that British government made many new policies. They made many new rules and regulations related to every field like agricultural field or the forest land for the tribal people or for missing administration policies also. Okay, like for the agricultural land, they introduced Zamindari system, Mehalwari system, Rayatwari system. Okay, and under this system, many high taxes were imposed on Indian farmers. Okay, so under this rule, means under British rule, the Indian farmers were not happy. Okay, means when they were not unable to pay these high taxes, their land would be taken by the British government. Okay, and British government made many new laws related to the forest land also, like forests were reserved, and in this reserved forest, tribal people were not allowed to enter. So in this way, these tribal people were also against the British policies. Now about the kings and queens. Yes friends, in the starting, the British government's main aim was just to earn profit. But with the passage of time, this government started to interfere in the administration system also. Okay, now British government made many new policies, and under these policies, many Indian kingdoms, okay, were taken over by the British government. What were these policies? First is their subsidiary alliance, and second was there that was doctrine of lapse. So what was this subsidiary alliance? Yes friends, subsidiary alliance was a policy under this that Indian rulers were not allowed to keep their own armed forces, and they were protected by the British Army. But for that, they had to pay taxes for this protection. Okay, and when these kings or when these rulers were unable to pay these taxes, so their kingdom that would be taken by the British government. So understood? This was subsidiary alliance. And second policy was there, that was doctrine of lapse. So what was doctrine of lapse? Actually, that was a policy under it the Indian rulers were not allowed to adopt any child. Means the Indian rulers which did not have their own child. Okay, so that they were not allowed to adopt any other child, and after their death or after them, their kingdom that would be taken by the British government, and in which I told the example like Jhansi, Satara, Nagpur. These were some kingdoms whose rulers did not have their own heir or children. So means after them or after their rule, their kingdom would be taken by the Britishers. Okay, now about the next reason, political reason was there that the princes of the state were denied their right of succession. Okay, as I told you, means those ruler, those who did not have their own child, so they were not allowed. Okay, they were not allowed to give their administration right or give their kingdom to their successors. The Muslim feeling had also been hurt, and the names of the Mughal rulers or kings were removed from the coins minted by the companies. The Muslim communities was also unhappy under British rules. Okay, actually many steps were taken by the British government to bring an end to the Mughal dynasty, in which the first was there, means the names of the Mughal kings were removed from the coins that were minted by the company. Understood? Means earlier on the currency of India, means on the coins, the Muslim ruler that they printed or depicted their names and ruling time. But under British rules, now their names were removed, which currency or coins were minted by the company now. Second is there administration causes. Yes, friends, what were these administrative causes in which all the higher posts under civil and military services were reserved sorry were reserved for the British. Actually, the British always adopted a policy of discrimination. So, under British rule, there was a great discrimination between Indians and the British officials. So, in the services, whether they are civil services or military services, okay, all the higher posts were given to the British officials only. Okay, means the Indian that you can say people always face this discrimination. They never assign higher post. Okay, and the chances of promotion of Indians in both civil and military service were very few. Means they were not given. Here also there was a discrimination. Means they were not given any chance of promotions. Means all high posts, okay, related to the British officials. Understood? Yes. Next one is there, that is military causes. Yes, friends, there was discriminative pay scale between the British and Indian soldier. So same thing was happened here. There was also discrimination in the army, British army. Both Indians and British people were there. But the Indian soldiers, you can say, that they faced a lot of discrimination. They were given very less salary, very less pay scale in comparison to the British officials. And all high ranks or posts were given to the British soldiers. In the British army, all high posts were given to the British soldiers. The order which required the soldiers to travel overseas was against the religious beliefs of the Indian soldiers. Yes, friends, actually what happened, the British government passed a new law in 1856. Okay, means in 1856, the company had to pass a new law making it compulsory for the army person to go overseas. Okay, means to cross the sea whenever required. But at that time, okay, many Indians were there, those who considered it against their religious sentiment to cross the sea. Understood? So when Sipai were asked to fight for the company in Burma in 1824, so they refused to go by the sea and they preferred going by the land route. So understood about it? So means when the British government asked them, the Indian soldiers, to go for other countries for fighting by crossing sea, so means these things they considered as considered against the religious belief of the Indian customs or rituals, and they were forced to fight war for the company. Yes, when the British government had war with the other countries, so in these wars, Indian soldiers were sent. Okay, so Indian soldiers were forced to fight war with other countries or for the company purpose or in the favor of company. Indian soldiers were allowed to wear or put sectarian marks like tilak. Here it is written allowed. Note word is missing here. Indian soldiers were not allowed to wear or put sectarian mark like tilak. Yes, friends, sectarian marks means that in Indian customs or rituals is there that it is our belief when we visit to temple, then we put some, you can say, tilak on our forehead. Okay, and we wear something that sectarian marks in our neck also. But the people, those who were in the that British army, so these Indian soldiers were not allowed to wear any sectarian mark in their neck, and they were not allowed to put tilak, okay, on their forehead. So it was also that against their religious belief. So these were some military causes, like Indian soldiers were paid very less, they were forced to fight the war for the company, they were not given any high post in the army, okay, they were not allowed to follow their religious that rituals, or you can say sacrifices. So in this way, so all these soldiers were also against the British rule. Okay, now some economic causes. Both the farmers and the zamindars were dissatisfied with the revenue policy of the British. Yes, friends, as we have studied in our previous lecture, that British government introduced zamindari system, mehalwari system, rayatwari system. Like in zamindari system, zamindar were made the owner of the land, but they had to collect taxes from the Indian farmers, and a big amount of these taxes they had to pay to the British government. And when these zamindars were unable to pay these taxes, so their zamindari rights were taken away by the British government. And the Indian farmers also were unhappy because on them the British government imposed very high taxes. They had to pay a very high revenue tax to the British government. Okay, and sometime, or you can say in the cases of failure of crops, drought, okay, when they were unable to pay these taxes, so their land was taken by the British. So in this way, that the all Miss farmers and zamindars, they were dissatisfied, they were not happy. Indian farmers were forced to grow cash crops which were great in demand in Indian market. Yes, friends, as I told that at that time textile industries revolutions were occurring in the that means in Britain. So for that they wanted cash crop like cotton. Okay, so and they needed this cotton for their textile industries. And the climatic condition of Britain or England was not suitable for growing cotton. So what they did do? So this British officials, British government forced the Indian farmers to grow these cash crops like cotton, which were great in demand in Indian market. Okay, so in that situation, the Indian farmers were facing a shortage of food crop. Okay, and they were not agree to follow this order. They were not agree to grow cash crop because they needed food crop to fulfill the needs of their family members. Okay, so these were some economic causes. The another was there, the decline of Indian handicraft and industries, and the resulting unemployment caused this content among people. Yes, what does it mean? Actually, as we know that the Indian people were very talented, were very skilled to make the things by their hand, means in handicraft items. They that made pottery, okay, sculptures or many other things. But when the industrial revolutions came in Britain, so many things were there which were prepared in the industries or factory of Britain. So now these things were arrived. Okay, these things had arrived in the Indian market. And these things which were prepared by the machines. So in this way, the Indian handicraft was declined. Okay, means now the demand of the things which were made by the Indian artisans, okay, decreased in the market and they became unemployed. Now they did not have any work to do because their materials or their that you can say items, handicraft items were not demand in the market. Nobody was purchasing them because the things which were prepared in the industries or factories with the help of machines, so they were of fine qualities also, and they were very you can say less in price also. So in this way, so these Indian artisans, okay, were also unhappy and against the British government. Company officials were started draining away Indian wealth to England. Yes, friends, the British officials, those who came from England and stayed in India for some times, so they earned a lot of profit. They collected a large amount of wealth from India and they took this wealth, they took this money to England. Okay, they purchased Indian goods at very low price and sold them at very high price in the market. Yes, this was also the main reason. So the British officials, what did they do? They purchased the Indian goods, okay, like cotton or other things at very low price, and they misprepared the things with these raw materials and again sold these prepared products in the Indian market at very high price, and in this way they were earning a lot of profit. Yes friends, now we will discuss about social and religious causes. The British considered themselves as superior to the Indians. Always means the British officials, they considered themselves superior, okay, and Indians also inferior. They thought that the Indians were uncivilized. They didn't have any manners. They didn't have any knowledge, okay, and considered themselves as superior, superpower. Okay, and the British officers often insulted the Indian publicly. Okay, means on that choraha or on that public places, sometimes they that means the Indians were beaten by these British officials. Means they were insulted on the public places in open areas, and the British were against idol worship. Idol worship means murti puja. Okay, and criticize the custom, culture and tradition of India. Yes friends, with the passage of time, now the British officials, they started to, you can say, spread their Christianity, their religious teachings among the Indians. Now they started to interfere in the religious customs or cultures or traditions of India. Like they were against the idol worship and they started to criticize the custom, culture and tradition of India's means the tradition or the culture which were followed by the Indians, means these systems were criticized by the British official. Christian missionaries were tried to convert the Indians to Christians. This I told you. Now Christian missionaries were the people, those who spread their own religious teachings among others. So these Christian missionaries, these people started to spread the Christianity, their religious teachings among Indians. They started to convert many Indians into Christians. Okay, and the social reforms such as abolition of sati system, legalizations of the widow remarriage introduced by the British also became the cause of revolt. Yes, actually this was the positive point we can say of the British government, as we know that in Indian society many social evils were presented or lying like sati system. Okay, widows were not allowed to remarry. So now the British government that means they introduced some reforms also in Indian society like abolition of sati system and they allowed the widow to remarry. But the Indian people that they thought now the British started interfere in this religious matter and they were not agree, they were not agree to this policies. Okay, and they against all the categories, farmers, kings, traders, tribal peoples. Okay, now all were started to raise their voice against these policies which were introduced by the British. Now yes, immediate cause. Immediate cause means the main cause means after this incident, after this cause, the revolt started. Okay, what was this immediate cause? Now we will discuss about it. Okay, in 1856, the British government introduced a new rifle called Enfield rifle. Okay, and what was this Enfield rifle? Actually, the rifle had a greased paper attached round the cartridge. In order to load the file, in order to load the rifle, a Sipahi had to bite off the paper with his mouth. So in 1857, a rumor spread that the greased cartridge was made from the fat of pigs and cows. This deeply hurt the religious sentiments of both the Hindus and the Muslims, because in Hindu that custom, you can say thus the Hindu people, they worship the that cow, and the Muslim people worship the fat. So when they got this news that in this cartridge the fat of the cow and pigs was used, so they denied to use this rifle. Understood? Okay. So for that, means these things deeply hurt the sentiments of the both communities. So the soldiers denied to use these rifles and decided to revolt. So understood, friends? So this was the immediate cause. So after this immediate cause, that how did the revolt spread? So now we will study about it. Okay. From Meerut to Delhi. Yes, friends, actually the revolt started from Meerut. Okay, in Meerut, one regiment was there. Like on 29th March 1857, a soldier named Mangal Pandey was hanged to death for attacking officer in Barakpur. Ki one resident was there in Barakpur in Meerut, and here one soldier was there, Mangal Pandey. Okay, when he denied to obey the order of his you can say officer, and his officer that means first attacked on Mangal Pandey, and in return he also attacked his officer. Okay, but in return Mangal Pandey was hanged. So after some days of this incident, some Sipahis at Meerut refused to use the fat great cartridge. So therefore 85 Sipahis were dismissed from service, and on 9th May 1857 they were sentenced to the 10 years in jail for disobeying their officer. Okay, so in 9th May 1857, so how many? First means only few soldiers, they started to deny the use this grease card, but on 9th May 1857, 85 Sipahis, those who denied to use this grease, okay, all these Sipahis were dismissed from their services, okay, and they were sent in the jail for the 10 years. Understood. And the soldiers released the imprisoned Sipahis from the Meerut jail on 10th May. So now the other soldiers, they started a revolt to make them free. All these Sipahis which were in prisons, and the soldiers were determined to bring an end to their rule in the country. Means now all the soldiers, they decided कि now we will bring now we will bring freedom for the Indians, okay, and they decided to bring an end to the rules of the British company. And for that, the Sipahi rode all night of 10th May and reached Delhi in the early hours next morning. So they started a revolt, you can say, and they gathered at a place on 10th May, okay, and all these soldiers reached Delhi, okay, in the early hours or next morning, okay, to show their anger against these imprisoned Sipahi. Now, in this way, our today's lecture is completed. Tomorrow we will discuss about how this revolt spreaded in different parts of the country and whether this revolt get success or not. If it did not get success, So what were the reasons for its failure? So about all this topic we will discuss in our next lecture. So we have studied about the different causes which were responsible for the revolt of 1857. Yes friends, now we will have a discussion on the homework solution of our previous lecture, in which the question answer which were given. First is, what is mutiny? Yes, when soldiers as a group disobey their officers in the army, then it is called mutiny. Second, under what pretext did the company take our Awadh? Okay, yes, in 1801, I told you subsidiary alliance was imposed on Awadh, and in 1856 it was taken over. Next, how did company plan to bring an end to the Mughal dynasty? The company even began to plan how to bring the Mughal dynasty to end. First, for that they took many steps, and in which first was there, the name of the Mughal king was removed from the coins minted by the company. They stopped minting coins on the Mughal king's name. In 1849, Governor General Dalhousie announced that the successor of Bahadur Shah Zafar will not stay in the Red Fort. Okay, and in 1856, Governor General Canning declared that the Mughal kingdom had come to an end with the death of Bahadur Shah, and his successor would be known as Prince, not King. So these were some steps which were taken by the British government to bring an end to the Mughal dynasty. What reforms did the British introduce in the Indian society? Today we have discussed the British introduced several reforms. They passed laws to stop the practice of sati and to encourage the remarriage of widows. They promoted English language education. In 1850, the company passed a new law, okay, and that made the conversion to Christianity easier. So these were some reforms which were introduced by the British government in Indian society, but the Indians were not ready to accept it. Actually, how did the people of India respond to them about these reforms? Many Indians began to feel that the British were destroying their religion, their social customs, and then traditional way of life. Okay, so in this way, means they were not ready to accept these changes which were made by the Britishers in Indian society. Understood? So in this way, our today's lecture is completed. Tomorrow we will meet again with our next lecture. Thank you.